Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Failure is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of a new journey. It's a step in your growth, a lesson in disguise. Life will knock you down, but it's how you get back up that matters. You will face obstacles, you will face challenges. But the key to success is not avoiding failure, it's learning how to turn it into something greater. The first time I faced failure, I was devastated. But I learned that it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you rise. Every failure teaches you something. Every mistake is a lesson that moves you closer to your goal. So don't you dare quit. You hear me? Don't you dare quit. Because the only real failure is quitting on yourself. We all have dreams, we all have goals, but success doesn't come easy. It's the result of perseverance, hard work, and most importantly, the ability to turn every setback into a stepping stone. You've got to make the decision that failure is just a detour, not a dead end. Now, I want you to understand something. Success is not about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it. It's about looking that failure in the face, saying, I'm not done. I'm just getting started. So when you face a failure, don't run from it. Don't hide from it. You face it, you learn from it, and you rise above it. You've got the strength within you. You've got the power to change your life. Now, go and turn those failures into success. Failure is not something to fear. It's not something to hide from. In fact, it's something you need to embrace because it's part of the journey. You're not going to get through this life without it. Let me tell you something. Every great person, every successful individual you admire, they faced failure. They didn't just walk the easy path. No, they stumbled, they fell, they got knocked down. But here's the difference. They didn't let it stop them. Failure is not a sign that you're not good enough or that you don't have what it takes. It's simply a signal that you're pushing yourself. You're stepping outside your comfort zone. And when you step outside your comfort zone, the world doesn't always give you roses and applause. It gives you lessons. It gives you the grit and strength to keep moving forward. So when failure comes knocking, don't run from it. Don't shy away from it. Welcome it. Welcome it because it's showing you what you need to learn. It's showing you how to get stronger, how to get better. There's no way to be successful without embracing failure. If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. You're not pushing hard enough. Failure is part of the process. It's part of the growth. And without it, success wouldn't taste as sweet. You'll look back one day and realize that all those moments of doubt, all those tough times were necessary. They were the foundation that built you up to where you are and to where you'll go. So next time failure knocks, open the door. Let it in, learn from it, grow from it, and use it to take yourself to the next level. Let me tell you something. Making mistakes is part of being human. It's how we grow. But the real power isn't in the mistake itself, it's in what you do after. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Don't waste time on regret or guilt. You can't change what happened, but you can control what happens next. That's the key to success, learning from your mistakes. Every mistake has a lesson buried inside of it. It's a message, a guide telling you what needs to change, what needs to be better, what you need to adjust. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you humble enough to admit that you didn't have all the answers? Are you willing to look at your own actions and learn from them instead of blaming others or circumstances? Let me tell you, there's no shame in making a mistake. The shame comes when you don't learn from it. The shame comes when you let it define you, when you use it as an excuse to quit or to stay stuck. You've got to take that mistake and dissect it. What went wrong? Why did it happen? What can I do differently next time? Because that's where growth happens. That's where the real transformation takes place. You have to be willing to look in the mirror, to face the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, to acknowledge the mistake, but then to use it as fuel. It's not about the fall, it's about how you get up. If you keep making the same mistake over and over again, that's on you. But if you take that mistake, learn from it, and do better next time, then that's progress. And progress is all that matters. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't how many mistakes they make, it's how they respond to them. Successful people don't run from their mistakes, they don't ignore them. They don't try to sweep them under the rug. They face them head on, they learn the lesson, they adjust, and they keep moving forward. That's how you build resilience. That's how you build character. That's how you build success. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. But more than that, Don't be afraid to learn. If you're willing to learn from every mistake, every setback, every failure, then you're on the road to greatness. Because greatness doesn't come from never falling, it comes from learning how to rise every time you do. Let me make one thing clear: failure doesn't define who you are. It doesn't define your worth, your potential, or your future. Failure is an event, not a person. You can fail 100 times, but that doesn't mean you are a failure. Too many people let a single moment, a single setback shake the way they see themselves. They allow failure to become their identity, to become their story. But listen to me, you are not your failures. You've got to understand this. Every successful person you look up to has failed. Every person who's achieved greatness has been knocked down, had doors slammed in their face, been told they weren't good enough. But here's the thing: they didn't let those failures stick to them. They didn't let the setbacks define who they were. They chose to see failure as a part of the process, as a lesson, as a stepping stone to something greater. And that's what you need to do too. You've got to refuse to let your mistakes or your challenges be the thing that defines your worth. You are bigger than that. You are stronger than that. You've got the power to redefine who you are, no matter how many times you fall. You get to decide who you are, not your failures, not your past, not anyone's opinions. The moment you start letting failure define you, that's when you stop moving forward. That's when you give up on the dream, on the purpose, on the greatness that's waiting for you. Look, failure is temporary, but your identity, your vision, your purpose, it's eternal. You have something inside of you that's far greater than any failure you'll ever face. You have the strength to rise every time you fall. You have the resilience to overcome whatever challenges life throws your way. But you've got to believe that. You've got to see failure for what it really is: a lesson, a chance to get better, a push toward what's next. Don't let failure tell you who you are. You get to write your own story. You get to choose how you respond. If you fail, that doesn't mean you're not worthy. It just means you're still learning, still growing, still in the process of becoming who you're meant to be. And don't forget this: the only person who can truly define you is you. So don't give failure that power. Take the power back. Look failure in the face and tell it, you don't define me, I define me. And I'm just getting started. Listen to me, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you've got to keep moving forward. You cannot afford to stop. The world will test you, life will challenge you, but your job is to keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how slow you go. As long as you're still going, you can't let fear, doubt, or failure hold you back. You've got to take one step, then another, then another. Keep pushing no matter what. There will be times when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You'll want to quit. You'll want to throw in the towel and say, I've had enough, but that's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place, why you chose this path, what's on the other side of your struggle. And when you remember that, when you remind yourself of the bigger picture, you'll find the strength to keep going. Life is full of challenges. That's just the reality. But here's the truth: every challenge, every setback is just another opportunity for growth. It's a chance to prove to yourself what you're really made of. The easy path won't teach you anything. The easy path won't push you to be better. It's the hard times, the tough moments that build your character, your resilience, your determination. And the key is, no matter how tough it gets, no matter how many times you fall, you get up and you keep moving forward. When you face adversity, don't sit there waiting for it to pass. Don't wait for things to magically get better. Get up, take action, and keep moving. You've got to take control of your own destiny. You can't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. The time is now. And even if you feel like you're taking baby steps, even if it feels like progress is slow, you're still moving forward. And that's all that matters. Let me tell you something: the only real failure is when you stop moving. The moment you decide that you're done, that you're giving up, that's when you lose. The journey is never going to be easy, but it's worth it. So no matter what life throws your way, no matter how many setbacks or failures you face, keep moving forward. It's that simple. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Keep moving forward step by step until you reach the place you were meant to be. You've got a dream. You've got a purpose. Don't let anything stand in your way. Don't let anyone tell you that it's too hard or too impossible. The only thing that can stop you is you. Keep moving forward, because your future is waiting for you on the other side of your perseverance. Listen to me, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you've got to keep moving forward. You cannot afford to stop. The world will test you, life will challenge you, but your job is to keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you're still going. You can't let fear, doubt, or failure hold you back. You've got to take one step, then another, then another. Keep pushing no matter what. There will be times when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You'll want to quit. You'll want to throw in the towel and say, I've had enough. But that's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started in the first place, why you chose this path, what's on the other side of your struggle. And when you remember that, when you remind yourself of the bigger picture, you'll find the strength to keep going. Life is full of challenges. That's just the reality. But here's the truth. Every challenge, every setback is just another opportunity for growth. It's a chance to prove to yourself what you're really made of. The easy path won't teach you anything. The easy path won't push you to be better. It's the hard times, the tough moments that build your character, your resilience, your determination. And the key is, no matter how tough it gets, no matter how many times you fall, you get up and you keep moving forward. When you face adversity, don't sit there waiting for it to pass. Don't wait for things to magically get better. Get up, take action, and keep moving. You've got to take control of your own destiny. You can't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity. The time is now. And even if you feel like you're taking baby steps, even if it feels like progress is slow, you're still moving forward. And that's all that matters. Let me tell you something. The only real failure is when you stop moving. The moment you decide that you're done, that you're giving up, that's when you lose. The journey is never going to be easy, but it's worth it. So no matter what life throws your way, no matter how many setbacks or failures you face, keep moving forward. It's that simple. Don't wait for the storm to pass. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Keep moving forward, step by step, until you reach the place you were meant to be. You've got a dream. You've got a purpose. Don't let anything stand in your way. Don't let anyone tell you that it's too hard or too impossible. The only thing that can stop you is you. Keep moving forward, because your future is waiting for you on the other side of your perseverance. You see, life is not always going to be smooth. There will be moments when it feels like the whole world is against you, when the weight on your shoulders feels too heavy to carry. And in those moments, you'll hear a voice in your head telling you to stop, to quit, to just let go. But listen to me carefully. That voice is the enemy. That voice wants to keep you stuck. It wants you to believe that when things get tough, it's time to give up. But giving up, that's the real failure. And you are not a failure. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is the ability to keep moving forward, no matter what. It's not about avoiding hardship or avoiding setbacks. It's about moving through them. It's about facing the storm head on and saying, I'm not stopping. I'm not backing down. And believe me, there will be storms. There will be setbacks that feel insurmountable. But if you make the decision to keep moving forward, step by step, you will eventually outrun those storms. You will make it to the other side stronger and wiser than before. This is not the time to get discouraged. This is not the time to let the weight of failure or doubt crush your spirit. This is the time to dig in. You might not see immediate results, but every step forward is a victory. The key is to not stand still. Even if the steps are small, even if it feels like you're walking through mud, you keep moving. You do not allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear, regret, or frustration. You get up and you keep going. Let me tell you something. Nothing worth having comes easy. The road is going to get tough. But the road to greatness, the road to your dreams, is built on the foundation of persistence, of grit, of determination. And the only way to build that foundation is by continuing to move forward, no matter how many times you stumble. Every time you fall, you rise. Every time you fail, you learn. And you keep moving. You keep pushing. You refuse to stay down. It's not the big wins that make you great. It's the little wins, the quiet victories, the persistence to get up one more time when you feel like quitting. It's the courage to keep moving forward, even when it seems like all odds are against you. And eventually, those small steps will add up. Those moments will turn into momentum. And when that happens, when you look back and see how far you've come, that's when you realize that every single moment of struggle, every single moment of pain was worth it. So don't stop. Don't quit. Don't let anything stop you from moving forward, because forward is the only way to go. You're building something that's worth the fight, worth the struggle. You just have to keep moving forward, step by step, day by day, until you get where you're meant to be. And I promise you, when you do, you'll look back and realize that every obstacle, every failure, every setback was just a part of the journey that led you to success. Perseverance is the difference between those who make it and those who don't. It's the thing that pushes you through the hardest moments, the thing that gets you up when you're tired, when you feel like you've given everything you have and there's nothing left to give. When the world tells you to stop, when it feels like you've hit a wall, it's perseverance that tells you to keep going. It's that fire inside of you that refuses to quit, even when every part of you is screaming to give up. Understand this: success is not about being perfect. It's not about having all the right answers, and it's certainly not about avoiding failure. Success is about showing up day after day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts. It's about pushing through the pain, the doubt, and the fear. And that's where perseverance comes in. You've got to keep moving, keep grinding, keep pushing forward when the odds seem stacked against you. Because here's the truth: life will test you. People will doubt you. You'll face obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. Think about it. There's no success story, no real breakthrough, no dream that's come to life without some kind of struggle, some kind of adversity. The road to greatness isn't easy. It's a battle every single day. But that's where perseverance becomes your greatest weapon. It's the thing that keeps you going when everything else fails. When everyone else walks away, perseverance says, not today, not now. I'm still in the fight. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to have days when you question everything: your choices, your abilities, your worth. But it's in those moments, those darkest moments, that your perseverance matters most. It's in those moments that you dig deep. You remind yourself that you're not done yet. You remind yourself that you're not here to quit. You're here to win. And no matter how many times life knocks you down, you get back up. You find the strength to take another step, to keep going, to persevere. The truth is, most people give up too soon. They hit a bump in the road and think it's the end. But those who succeed, those who make it to the top, are the ones who refuse to quit when the going gets tough. They push through. They understand that perseverance is not about how fast you move. It's about staying in the fight, staying in the game, no matter how long it takes. This journey isn't going to be easy. There are no shortcuts to success. No one hands you anything. You have to earn it. You have to show the world that you've got the grit, the determination, and the willpower to push through the hard times. And every time you do, you grow stronger. Every time you persevere, you get one step closer to your goal. So don't be afraid of the struggle. Don't shy away from the hard times. Embrace them, because it's the struggle that makes you stronger, and it's perseverance that helps you push through. The road will be long, the road will be tough, but as long as you keep going, as long as you refuse to quit, you're on the path to greatness. Keep pushing, keep fighting, and remember, perseverance is key. Without it, you've got nothing. With it, you've got everything. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Perseverance is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's easy to start something. We all have dreams. We all have ideas. We all have a vision of where we want to go. But the reality is that the path to success isn't a straight line. It's full of obstacles, detours, and unexpected turns. There will be times when you feel like you're giving everything you've got, and it feels like nothing is moving forward. Those are the times when you've got to dig deep and keep going. Because perseverance isn't just about keeping up when things are easy. It's about pushing through when everything inside of you wants to stop. You're going to hit walls. You're going to have setbacks. Life is going to challenge you, test you, and push you to your breaking point. It's in those moments that your character is built. It's in those moments that perseverance becomes the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's easy to quit when things get tough. It's easy to walk away when you don't see immediate results, when you don't get the praise, the recognition, or the rewards right away. But those who succeed are the ones who understand that success isn't instant. It's earned, it's fought for, and it's built brick by brick over time. Let me tell you something: you've got to be willing to stay in the game, even when it feels like the game is against you. When the road is long, when the nights are sleepless, when the setbacks seem endless, you can't afford to quit. You've got to wake up every day, put your shoes on, and get back in the fight. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get up. You've got to get back up every single time. And don't get it twisted, this isn't about brute force. Perseverance doesn't mean pushing without purpose. It means having the wisdom to keep moving forward, to adjust, to learn from mistakes, to adapt. It means understanding that sometimes you have to change your approach, but never your goal. You keep your eye on the prize, and no matter what happens along the way, you don't lose sight of why you started in the first place. In the moments when you feel like you're exhausted, when you feel like you've been giving everything and seeing nothing in return, that's when perseverance is tested. That's when you find out what you're really made of. You can either decide to quit, or you can dig deeper, find that fire within, and keep moving forward. It's the people who keep moving, the ones who refuse to quit, the ones who stay in the game long enough to see the fruits of their labor, who eventually find success. The world will give you plenty of reasons to quit, to throw in the towel, to say it's too hard, but when you persevere, when you refuse to quit, you prove to yourself that you are bigger than any obstacle, stronger than any challenge. The strength to keep going, to rise again after every fall, that's the real victory. So stay the course. Don't worry about the speed at which you're moving. It doesn't matter if it's slow. What matters is that you're moving. What matters is that you're staying in the fight. Because perseverance is key. It's what keeps you going when everyone else has given up. And it's what will take you from where you are now to where you're meant to be. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep moving. And when you reach that destination, you'll know that perseverance was the key that unlocked everything. Failure doesn't have to be the end, it can be the beginning. It's not a roadblock, it's a tool. It's a weapon you can use to sharpen your focus, to get clearer about what you want and what you need to do to get there. Most people see failure as a setback, something to run from, something that defines them. But if you're smart, you'll see it for what it really is, a teacher, a lesson, and an opportunity for growth. When you fail, you're forced to look at yourself, your actions, your choices. You're forced to take a step back and evaluate what went wrong. What didn't work? Why didn't it work? That moment of failure, when it stings the hardest, is the exact moment you have the chance to make a decision. You can either let it defeat you, or you can use it to sharpen your focus. You can learn from it, grow from it, and become even stronger because of it. You've got to take failure and ask the right questions. You've got to analyze every detail of what happened, not to beat yourself up, but to get better. What's the lesson here? Where can I improve? What can I do differently next time? That's how failure becomes your ally. That's how you turn the pain of failure into a tool for your success. It's all about perspective. You've got to shift your mindset from seeing failure as something negative to seeing it as an essential part of the process. Look, failure teaches you things success never will. When you succeed, you get complacent. You start thinking you've got it all figured out, that you've cracked the code. But failure forces you to stay hungry. It keeps you sharp. It forces you to get honest with yourself and take a hard look at your weaknesses. It shows you areas where you're not as strong as you thought. And that's the beauty of it. It forces you to refocus, to reevaluate, and to set your sights even higher. You know what's even more powerful than failure? A person who fails and uses that failure to fuel their next move. You've got to take that setback and make it the fire that drives you forward. The people who really win in life are the ones who know how to take failure, reflect on it, and come back stronger. They don't dwell on it. They don't wallow in regret. They use it as the perfect opportunity to adjust their focus and move forward with more precision. When you fail, your focus has to shift. You've got to stop looking at what went wrong and start looking at what can go right. You've got to change your strategy, adjust your tactics, and realign your mindset. Failure can either blind you or it can open your eyes. The choice is yours. When you focus on what you can control, when you focus on what you've learned, failure no longer has power over you. Instead, you have power over it. So don't fear failure. Don't run from it. Use it to your advantage. Let it teach you. Let it guide you. Let it be the lesson that sharpens your focus and drives you to do better next time. Each failure is an opportunity to see things more clearly, to recalibrate your efforts, and to come back stronger. It's your choice how you handle it. You can either let it defeat you or use it as the stepping stone to your success. Keep your eyes on the prize and let failure be the sharpener that keeps your focus razor sharp. Believe in yourself. There's no greater power, no stronger force than the belief you have in who you are and what you're capable of. The world will try to convince you that you're not good enough, that you're not strong enough, that you're not qualified or deserving. People will doubt you. They'll question your ability, your ambition, and your dreams. But in the face of all that, you've got to stand tall and say, I believe in myself. That's where it all begins. It doesn't matter how many people doubt you or how many doors slam in your face. It doesn't matter if everyone else around you thinks you're crazy or that your dreams are impossible. The only thing that matters is what you believe. You've got to believe in your potential even when no one else does. You've got to believe that you have something inside of you that's worth fighting for. You've got to trust yourself enough to take the risks, to make the sacrifices, to step into the unknown. Believing in yourself isn't just about saying the words, it's about walking the walk. It's about showing up day after day when the world tells you to sit down. It's about pushing through the pain, through the obstacles, and through the moments of self-doubt. It's about finding the strength within to keep going, even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Because when you believe in yourself, you understand that setbacks are just part of the journey. They're not the end, they're just lessons, opportunities to grow, to learn, to become stronger. You've got to trust that you have everything inside of you to make it, even when the road seems long and the odds are stacked against you. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. But those mistakes don't define you. Those failures don't define you. What defines you is your ability to get back up, to keep going, to never lose faith in the person you are becoming. And the key to all of that is belief. Belief that you are enough. Belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. Belief that you are worthy of everything you want in this life. The world will try to break you down. It will throw challenges at you that seem impossible to overcome. But if you believe in yourself, if you trust in your ability to figure things out, there's nothing that can stop you. When you believe in yourself, you build an armor that protects you from negativity, from the criticism, from the doubts that others try to plant in your head. And that armor doesn't come from anyone else, it comes from within. It comes from knowing who you are, knowing what you're capable of, and trusting that you are stronger than any challenge life throws at you. It's not always going to be easy. There are going to be days when the world seems heavy, when you feel small, when you wonder if you have what it takes. But you've got to push through that. You've got to remind yourself that the dreams inside of you are worth every struggle, every sacrifice. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself the permission to rise above, to overcome, to be greater than you ever thought possible. Believing in yourself is the foundation of everything. It's the spark that ignites your fire. It's the confidence that drives your decisions. It's the fuel that keeps you moving when the road gets tough. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. You can't wait for others to see your worth before you do. You've got to see it first. You've got to feel it first. Because when you believe in yourself, you give yourself the power to create the life you want. So stand tall, shoulders back, and say it with conviction, I believe in myself. Trust in the power that lies within you, because when you believe in yourself, you can accomplish anything. The world may not always believe in you, but as long as you believe in you, nothing can hold you back. You are enough. You are capable. And your belief in yourself is the key to everything. Keep believing, because when you do, nothing is impossible. Failure is not the end. It's a lesson. It's an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become better. Too many people look at failure as an excuse to give up, to back down, to throw in the towel. They let it define them. They let it convince them that they're not good enough, that they're not strong enough, or that they'll never make it. But here's the truth, failure doesn't have to be an excuse. It can be the stepping stone that propels you forward if you allow it to teach you. When you fail, don't just sit there and wallow in it. Don't let it defeat you. Don't allow it to become the reason why you stop trying. Take a moment to look at what happened and ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What can I do better next time? Failure isn't something to run from. It's something to embrace. It's the key to your growth. It's the moment where you get to redefine yourself, but only if you choose to turn it into a lesson instead of an excuse. Too many people are quick to blame their circumstances, to blame the people around them, or to blame the world for their failures. They use it as a crutch, as a reason to not keep moving forward. But that's not what you need to do. Instead of using failure as an excuse to quit, use it as a tool to push harder, to work smarter, to rise higher. Failure is the universe's way of showing you where you need to improve. It's showing you what you didn't get right. And if you're wise enough to listen, it will point you in the direction of where you need to go. When you fail, it's not the time to make excuses. It's the time to make changes. It's the time to take responsibility, to be accountable, and to take ownership of your actions. Don't let failure be the reason why you give up. Let it be the reason why you get stronger. Let it push you to get back up, to fight harder, to work with more precision. There's power in turning your failures into lessons. The more you learn, the better equipped you become for the next challenge, the next obstacle. And trust me, there will be more challenges ahead, but each failure, each setback is an opportunity to improve. Now, I'm not saying failure doesn't hurt. It does. It's painful. It's humbling. It's frustrating. But you've got to understand that pain is part of the process. You have to go through the fire to come out stronger. If everything was easy, if every step was perfect, then success wouldn't mean anything. The beauty is in the struggle, in the lessons you gain along the way. Every mistake, every misstep, every failure is shaping you. It's preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. But it's only if you choose to learn from it and not let it be an excuse to quit. The key is to never let failure stop you. Let it teach you. Let it mold you. Let it refine you into the person you were meant to become. When you look at failure as a lesson, you remove the power it has over you. You stop fearing it, and instead you embrace it. You understand that it's not the end of the road. It's just a detour, a redirection, a sign that you need to change your approach, tweak your strategy, or put in more work. It's a test. And every time you pass that test, you come out stronger, smarter, more prepared for the next round. So stop using failure as an excuse to quit. It's not the reason you're not where you want to be. The reason you're not where you want to be is because you haven't yet learned from your failures. You haven't yet used those lessons to propel you forward. When you shift your mindset, when you start to look at failure as a valuable teacher, that's when everything changes. That's when you start to move forward with purpose, with determination, and with the understanding that failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new opportunity to grow and succeed. Turn your failures into lessons, not excuses. Because when you do, you'll find that there's nothing that can stop you. You'll keep rising, keep learning, keep growing. Never quit on your dreams. Let me tell you something, life will test you. It will challenge you in ways you never saw coming. People will tell you it's too hard. They'll say your dreams are too big, too out of reach. You'll hit walls, face rejection, and feel like the whole world is against you. But in those moments, you've got to make a decision. Will you let the setbacks stop you? Will you let the struggles turn you around? Or will you keep going, even when it seems impossible? The only option is to never quit. Your dreams are yours for a reason. They're not just random thoughts or fantasies. They're the vision of what you can truly become. And if you don't fight for them, if you don't push through the hard times, if you don't hold on when everything else is falling apart, you're cheating yourself. Your dreams are meant to be lived. They're meant to be chased down and fought for with everything you have. And let me tell you, the road to those dreams is not going to be easy. If it were easy, everybody would have what they wanted. But not everybody is willing to put in the work. Not everybody has the heart to keep going when the going gets tough. And that's what will separate you from the rest, the heart to never quit. There's going to be days when you want to give up. There's going to be times when you feel like you've given everything and it still isn't enough. There will be moments when you question whether it's worth it, when you wonder if you're wasting your time, when it feels like your dream is just too far away. But those are the moments that matter the most. Those are the moments when you decide if you're a quitter or a fighter. You see, the difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't is simple. The ones who succeed never quit. They keep going even when it feels like everything is falling apart. They push through the doubt, the fear, and the exhaustion because they know that on the other side of all that struggle is the life they've been fighting for. Don't let your dreams be stolen by fear, by failure, or by other people's opinions. The world will try to tell you that your dreams are too big, that you're not capable of achieving them. But I'm here to tell you, if you don't believe in your dreams, no one else will either. If you're not willing to fight for them, don't expect anyone else to. The power to make your dreams come true is in your hands, and it all comes down to one thing: persistence. You can't let go of your dreams just because it's tough. You can't let obstacles stop you. You can't let the negative voices of the world drown out the one voice that matters, your own. When you face obstacles, when you face challenges, that's when your dream is really tested. When things are hard, when the odds are stacked against you, that's when your character is forged. It's easy to dream when everything's going well. But can you keep dreaming? Can you keep going when nothing is working in your favor? That's when you truly prove to yourself what you're made of. It's not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. That's the secret to success. Keep getting back up. Keep moving forward one step at a time. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not. But if you want something bad enough, if you want your dreams to become reality, you've got to fight for them. You've got to be willing to get uncomfortable, to make sacrifices, to push through when everyone else has given up. And here's the kicker: sometimes the people around you won't understand your vision. They won't see what you see. They won't get it. But that's all right. Your dream isn't for them, it's for you. You're the one who has to live it, breathe it, and fight for it. And if you want it bad enough, if you refuse to quit, eventually the world will see it too. Every failure, every setback, every hard moment is just another opportunity to grow, to learn, and to get closer to your dream. It's part of the process. And you can't let it discourage you. You can't let it make you quit. You've got to keep your eye on the prize, keep your vision clear, and remember why you started in the first place. Your dreams are worth it. You are worth it. And when you refuse to quit, when you push through the darkest times, you'll find that success was always within reach. It was just waiting for you to keep going. So I'll say it again: never quit on your dreams. No matter how tough it gets, no matter how many times you stumble, you've got to keep going. Your dreams are worth every ounce of effort, every sacrifice, and every challenge that comes your way. You're capable of achieving them, but only if you refuse to quit. Keep going. Keep fighting. Your dreams are waiting. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Too often, we get so caught up in the end goal, so focused on what we haven't achieved yet, that we forget to recognize the steps we've already taken. We look at how far we still have to go instead of acknowledging how far we've already come. Every little victory, every small accomplishment, every hurdle you've overcome, it all counts, and it all deserves to be celebrated. Here's the thing: progress isn't always about giant leaps or major milestones. It's about the small, everyday steps that add up over time. It's about the work you put in when no one's watching. It's about the sacrifice you make when no one else understands why you're doing it. It's about the discipline to keep going when the results don't show up immediately. If you're waiting for the big moment to celebrate, you're going to miss everything that's happening right now. Every piece of progress you make is part of the puzzle, part of the journey, and it's worth celebrating. So often, people get discouraged because they think they haven't achieved enough yet. They compare their progress to others and feel like they're falling behind. They start to lose faith in themselves because they can't see the end result right away. But let me tell you something: it's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. Your progress is unique to you, and it's not a race. You're not in competition with anyone else. The only person you need to compare yourself to is who you were yesterday. And if you've taken one step forward, no matter how small, that's something to celebrate. That's progress. That's growth. That's moving in the right direction. The truth is, when you celebrate your progress, you build momentum. You create a positive cycle of motivation that pushes you to keep going. When you take time to recognize how far you've come, it reminds you of your strength, your resilience, and your ability to keep moving forward. It gives you the energy and the confidence to face the next challenge. Every time you celebrate, you reinforce the idea that you're capable, that you're on the right path, and that you're making progress even if it doesn't always feel like it. Look, life's hard. You're going to face challenges, you're going to fail, and you're going to stumble. But in those moments, it's easy to forget how much progress you've already made. It's easy to forget that you're stronger now than you were a year ago, that you're smarter than you were yesterday, that you're wiser because of every mistake you've learned from. But the truth is, even the setbacks are part of the progress. They're shaping you, strengthening you, and pushing you closer to your goals. And let me tell you something: the more you celebrate your progress, the more you'll see opportunities to keep progressing. Success is a mindset. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about recognizing the wins you're having every single day. If you can't celebrate the little things, if you can't appreciate the progress you've made, you'll never be able to truly appreciate the bigger victories when they come. And the bigger victories will come, they always do. But they come to those who understand that progress is a process. It's not a straight line, and it's not easy. But every step you take, every lesson you learn, every obstacle you overcome is all part of your success story. You've got to take a moment, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of the progress I've made, because no one else is going to do it for you. You have to recognize your own growth. You have to acknowledge the work you've put in. And you have to understand that those small steps you're taking are getting you closer to your dream. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, it's all leading you somewhere. It's all part of the journey. So celebrate your progress. Don't wait for the end of the road. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Celebrate the hard work, the persistence, the hustle. Celebrate the fact that you're showing up every day, doing what others are too afraid to do. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you want. And every step deserves to be celebrated. Because when you celebrate your progress, you're not just looking back at what you've done, you're preparing yourself for what's next. You're reinforcing your belief in yourself, your confidence in your abilities, and your determination to keep moving forward. And that's the key when you keep moving forward. When you keep celebrating the progress you've made, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Keep pushing, keep growing, and never forget to recognize how far you've come. Every step is worth celebrating.